Okay. I'm just giving you the answer to the question you're asking all night long.
All right, folks, let's dive into the heart of this explosive discussion that left everyone, literally everyone, talking. Bill Maher, known for his sharp wit and unfiltered opinions, was on fire when he dropped an absolute truth bomb about why voters are still rallying behind Trump despite all the chaos.
I respect the fact that you don't share my pessimism. I truly do. I understand where you're coming from. But I think that's part of the problem. I think the Democratic Party should share my pessimism. I think they should be on high alert. I think they need to treat him with the seriousness that it deserves, because you having a lot of faith in the American people. The man did get over 74 million votes. You've got people that are looking at Joe Biden. I'm not going to call him a cognitive mess or anything like that. That's very disrespectful. I would never speak about our president that way. But when you're 82 years of age, it's not offensive to say you're no longer a spring chicken and you don't seem to have the level of five and the energy that you once used to have. And so you take that into consideration. You can't ignore the fact that this man is a threat.
Can you believe it? Maher suggests there are just, some things on the left that are driving people into Trump's arms, whether they really like him or not. It's a moment that made his guests sit up, speechless, pondering the complexities of our current political climate. You don't want to miss how this insight shakes up party lines, challenges narratives, and gets us, all of us, thinking deeper about what's really at play. Hey, if you're as caught up as I am in unraveling these political mysteries, consider hitting that subscribe button. Let's keep this conversation alive and thriving. Every click brings us closer to that 1,000 subscriber milestone, and your support means the world. You know you want more of this captivating content, right? So go ahead, subscribe, and never miss out on the next big truth bomb. Thanks for sticking with us on this wild ride. So, tearing right into this fascinating debate that captured everyone's attention, it's like, here we go. Bill Maher, alongside Stephen A. Smith and Adam Schiff, jumped right into the heart of political contradictions today. Maher is that kind of guy, sharp, insightful, never afraid to toss the proverbial grenade into the conversation. And honestly, folks, this time it was no different. Picture this, not even a minute into the discussion, and Maher boldly dives into the madness surrounding conservative views versus left-wing ideologies. And it's kind of mind-boggling, really. Despite some of the questionable antics associated with Trump, there are still reasons why people, real, everyday people, might continue to support him.
Oh, make no mistake, I take him as serious as a heart attack.
Okay.
I'm optimistic, but we're going to have to fight tooth and nail, and one of the biggest obstacles we're going to have to overcome is all the efforts to prevent people from voting.
Okay.
We're going to have to turn out our people. We're going to have to work like never before. We're going to have to work like our democracy is on the line, because it damn well is.
Right.
I take this as serious as a heart attack.
Let's interject one thing into this discussion about Trump that we've been having all night. It was a question I was going to ask you. We ran out of time.
Sure.
The Atlantic put out an article last year, and it was called "Separating Sports by Sex Doesn't Make Sense."
Right.
And talked about how we separate sports like the WNBA and just because it's just socialization. This is insane.
I agree.
Okay. That's why people vote for Trump. Because there's stuff like that on the left that people just go, I know Trump's horrible, but separating sports by sex makes perfect sense. And if you think it doesn't, you can't leave the country.
And that's cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Okay. I'm just giving you the answer to the question you're asking all night long. Why do they vote for Donald Trump? It's not always because they like him. No, it's because stuff like that is kooky.
The key issue isn't always about liking Trump, but rather rejecting the extreme shifts and radical policies emerging from leftist corners. Imagine sitting there, listening to Maher point out how far off base some of these ideas have become. He isn't holding back, no, not at all, raising points about what's perceived as left-driven insanity that paradoxically pushes people toward Trump. If we look closer, Maher emphasizes how separating sports by gender seems to many as common sense, yet controversies erupt when questioned by segments of the left. It's this kind of disconnect, Maher suggests, that puzzles and frustrates plenty of voters. You see, the discussion didn't stop there. Stephen A. Smith brought his usual fire, arguing from a unique perspective that challenges Maher's views while still considering the weight Trump carries politically. He pointed out how Democrats should, maybe they should, be more wary of dismissing Trump's massive voter base without fully understanding their motivations. Their numbers aren't exactly declining, with millions casting votes his way during the last major election. And then there's Adam Schiff. Now get this. Schiff's points mostly revolved around the potential dangers posed by voter suppression tactics Republicans are accused of perpetuating. But Maher had no patience for that conventional narrative. He highlights the complexities in voter ID laws, race debates, and the significant steps some voters believe are necessary to ensure secure elections. Maher insists that expecting voters to have IDs isn't suppression.
To say America is anti-Semitic is a lie. To say it is racist is a lie.
Okay,
These are giant left-wing lies.
We're talking about degrees.
To say that men can menstruate is a lie. And that is what is said. Yes.
Wait, where did that
You've never heard it, right? Okay. Check it out, folks. Check it out. Anyone who says a man cannot menstruate is considered transphobic.
I missed this whole story.
You did? I did.
Tell me where you're getting this.
Just Google it. Can men menstruate?
Who is saying this? You're talking about a very small percentage.
Oh, really? Then how do you allow men, biological men, to run against women in the races in Connecticut?
Moving on to the next. Dennis, I remember you in the old show. You were a little more reasonable.
What did I say that wasn't unreasonable?
You said that we think that men menstruate and no one does. We never even. Have you heard about it?
I'm a doctor. I missed that one, I confess.
And this is one of the premier reporters. He knows everything. These people are very. He's a doctor.
Okay.
He's one of the great.
I would make a friendly bet that the LGBTQ normative statement is men can menstruate.
It's about maintaining, shall we say, election integrity. At one point, the debate becomes seriously intense. Maher continues criticizing how certain leftist policies push people who don't entirely agree with Trump to support him anyway. And it's a bit of a wake-up call for his guests, who, let's be honest, seemed caught off guard by the rawness of his claims. The conversation shifts back to racial commentary, with Smith adding his take on how perceived assumptions regarding racial minorities' inability to obtain IDs are not only outdated but also slightly patronizing. That moment with his guests really sparks a broader examination of how today's political climate could feel to, let's say, the average voter. Are these realities overshadowing quieter, more moderate voices within each party? Maher, in his whimsical yet biting manner, makes it clear that focusing solely on extreme policies seems like, how do I put this? That focus seems like a huge misstep that could cost Democrats dearly. Schiff, trying to regain control of the debate, pivots by reasserting the Democratic stance on voting rights. But Maher continues questioning the sincerity, indirectly urging his peers to look past ideological noise enshrouding current political affairs. The discussion then threads into acknowledging how both sides have, at times, lost track of engaging constructively with ordinary citizens' needs. To be honest, all this back and forth couldn't help but leave viewers seriously pondering the nature of their political alliances. Are these polarizing issues just a reflection of deeper societal disconnects? Does this conversation underline how segmented party politics are, essentially forcing voters into camps that don't wholly resonate with their principles? The Room, now completely alive with animated discussion, showcases Maher's mastery in igniting dialogues that get beneath the rhetoric. His insistence that the establishment, particularly Democrats, confront the error of sidestepping complex, albeit uncomfortable, voter motives couldn't be clearer. What we saw here was not just about Trump or debates over leftist ideals, but rather, it seemed to touch upon America's struggle with its own democratic identity. The tension between holding on to traditional viewpoints versus adapting to emerging contentious policies. This dichotomy underlines why debates like these are crucial to our collective understanding. All right, everyone, here's where you come in. What's your take on Maher's provocative insight? Do you think he's onto something, or do you side more with Schiff or Smith? Seriously, do share your thoughts down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear what each of you thinks about this lively political discourse, so don't be shy. Engage with me and let's get this conversation going.